happened to Debo at the end of the movie? They got hit with a brick. Debo might get hit with a brick. Talk some Latins. Nah, don't pick on them. Pick on me. Keep picking on Craig, and you gonna figure out what's gonna happen. You gonna get hit with a brick. And I ain't playing. You know I ain't playing. Hit with a brick.
Ain't underrated all time. Probably Lomachenko. I think Lomachenko is underrated because I feel like he fought outside of his weight class. Like he fought at 135 when he's really like a 126 pounder. But when people discredit him because he lost the big fights against a lot of bigger fighters, so he didn't really get a chance to fight at his weight class. He should be fighting against guys like Anyway and not Teofimo and Devin and shit. So he's underrated to me.
Why didn't it take 72 hours for the test to come back, right?
It came back after the fight, yeah.
Right. So why didn't come out that Tuesday or that week next? They waited till Canelo fight to push that he had something in his drug. Then once they pushed that, Devin and them was on ESPN that night promoting that he was. It's all in. I'm telling you.
What about your thoughts on Victor Conte being right up bottom? What Ryan said
that you drained up the version that fought Devin would beat you easily. He also said,
bro, go look at Ryan fight and go look at Ryan versus Devin and go look at my fight versus versus Ryan. And you can tell that Ryan didn't look no different. If he looked any different, he probably looked worse. He just was a bigger person, much slower. If he was on anything, why he didn't have stripping all his, like every punch, the brick hand, the jab, everything would have been strong. He only hit him with the same punch I told everybody, a hook, which is Devin was sitting right there to get caught with the hook. And they talk about this, my bad, talk about these guys, whatever, pound for pound or magic.
Feeling at it.
You know, they're just going to keep saying things to try to change the narrative and make it seem like, I started everything or, whatever they want to tell the world. But they people, man, they like to, come off a certain way, and try to trick the fans and, just trying to make it seem like, they these certain type of people. But I know what kind of people they is, you know what I'm saying? And, I ain't going to go into details, but at the end of the day, man, I'm trying to fight.
That is an easy fight for Key. I don't know boxing. Now look, I got a serious question for y'all. You ready? Now, when I go in there and make bro look like easy work, what y'all gonna say then? Like, what are y'all gonna say? Like, I'm not trying to say like bash in y'all face, but when I go in there and make him look easy, or if I go in there and stop him, what can y'all say? Are y'all gonna put me like pound for pound one of the best? Can Keyshawn be the greatest of all time? Like, what we talking about if I go in there and stop him?
Are you the king of boxing?
No.
All right, man, let's get into it, man. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Next subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notification, increase the chance, get notifications. We go live or drop a video. So let's get into it. So in today's news, Jayo Tapa stole the Noel Melikainen fight from David Benavidez, and they pretty much stripped this Noel guy and gave the title to somebody else. So let's get into it. So here's some quick hitters, and then we end the show off with a bazang. So here we go, man. Shout out to Professor Bryce, salute. So Jayo Tapa lands the Noel Melikainen fight as WBC face rules test. So it says that Zuffa confirmed Tuesday Jayo Tapa will face WBC Cruiserweight champion Noel Melikainen in a co-main event on Ryan and Conor Benn September 12th from T-Mobile Arena. The ring also announced the matchup, while official releases including pointed to the comments from Jayo Tapa directly at David Benavidez. This is a huge card. I look forward to showing the world once again why I'm the best cruiser on the planet, Tapa said. Credit to Noel for stepping up to the plate, while others, yes, David Benavidez, I'm talking about you, continue to run and hide. So Noel, he released a statement. When I stepped into the ring on September 12th against Jayo Tapa in Vegas, I intend to defend my world championship Noel said, he said, quote, "This fight is what I've wanted since becoming a two-time world champion. I'm ready to deliver. I haven't fought since December 2025. Because of circumstances outside of my control, I refuse to stay inactive. Champions are meant to defend their titles, and that's exactly what I'm prepared to do." He said, more than 60 days after Noel and Benavidez was ordered, we still haven't received a bona fide offer. Noel wasn't going to sit on the sidelines any longer. Gert said, I guess his manager's son, this just isn't about two champions, Noel and no type of. I'm about protecting the integrity of the sport and showing the fans that I deserve. So apparently he said that, PBC to come in with a deal or proof of funds. Fight was supposed to be in November. The account differs from the comment from made to Boxing Scene by Don King, who said Noel McCallion already signed a contract to propose December 12th unification bout with Benavidez in Glendale, Arizona. King said McCallion requested $1 million purse and that financial terms were secured. They ain't got no million to get on cruiserweight. Sansom Whiskey also told them that Benavidez is appearing aside his agreement. The WEC enforces the order that already announced McCallion will be stripped of his title for bypassing the mandatory champion, leaving the championship vacated. So yeah, that's where we at with it right now. So then I just seen this, so I'm just getting there. Benavidez set to fight Michelle Klinsky as the WEC cruiserweight title changes. So WC Cruiserweight title picture took another major turn Tuesday with Benavidez reportedly being lined up to face WC interim title Michael, whatever, November, December. Boxing journalist Abraham Gonzalez reported the development matchup hours after Zuffa announced the WC champion Noel will be defending his title against Ring Magazine Jairo Tapa. So the report follows conflicting claims earlier that boxing. So basically, neither WC nor Benavidez has officially announced so I don't know. So they may strip Jairo Tapa and get a title fight to this guy once Jai, get the fight. All Benavidez got to do is just be Tony Braxton and be a man about it and fight him. So, just more bullshit. One guard Benavidez claimed to be Doug, ran out the light heavyweight division, didn't want to fight Beevil, didn't want to fight Benavidez, ran to the cruiserweight division, didn't want to fight Jairo Tapa, the fight we wanted to see. So there's no room in boxing to say somebody's being ducked and they're doing the ducking. And this kind of just justifies why Canelo Alvarez probably shouldn't even entertain fighting this guy at this point. So it doesn't surprise me none. This is the PBC way in my Mandalorian voice. And now I expect him to strip one of these guys of this title, Jairo Tapa or him, and that's why he's fighting the WC interim champion November, December. Now, if he signed the deal, Don King can just proof of receipts that Noel signed the deal, and they got to show proof of funds too, that they had the funds to be able to pay him. So ultimately it's too hard to get the fights that you want to get. Now, I don't care about seeing these two fights. I want to see a Tapa fight Benavidez, but in boxing 1 + 1 can't equal 2. They do their darnest not to deliver. They do their darnest not to deliver the best fights that you want to see, and that's very unfortunate. Even in a destitute division like the cruiserweight division, especially a fighter for Benavidez is claiming to be ducked, claiming to be done dirty. I just don't understand why he just doesn't fight Jairo Tapa. I don't understand why he left the light heavyweight division, and you need to be stacking names up, right? I just don't understand it. Don't nobody care about boxing. Don't nobody care about, being the best. Nobody want to take all challengers. And then the people who do want to take all challengers, they who do want to fight and take on the best, guess what? They get put on the back burner. You know what I'm saying? Or they don't have the opponents that want to oblige that agreement. And this is just sick. I don't want to hear Benavidez called the monster again. I don't want to hear about how he being ducked. This dude is silently getting the pass for ducking people. He's silently getting the pass for ducking people, man. He done ducked 3 people, Better BF, Beevil, and now he ducked Jairo Tapa, and he refused to fight him. He's just trying to get every cruiserweight title without fighting Jairo Tapa. The same thing that he accused Canelo of, the same thing that I accused Canelo of, that Canelo wouldn't have got the WBC title had he fought, had Benavidez continued to hold the super middleweight division. Same being said here. Benavidez would have never fought, Jai Otapa. He never would have fought Jai Otapa had, he never would have been undisputed or go for undisputed had Jai Otapa still held the IBF belt. So, ultimately, man, this is just crazy. So Dan Raphael saying, although promoter Sans Whiskey Don King made a deal for Benavidez and Noah, whatever his last name, 3-belt unification for November, and it's being said in that article, they said December. I'm told, Malachi, whatever, no, I'm told did not agree, has or will sign with Zuffa, probable Otapa opponent, and King will likely sue. Typical. So basically, Don King is probably about to hold up 2 fights. But the real story is how, disgraceful and how distasteful Benavidez is moving. For a guy that couldn't get these fights, so a guy that criticized Canelo for moving how Canelo moving, he turned around and became Canelo. He literally turned around and did the same thing Canelo Alvarez did. Ran around a particular guy. He went around a particular guy to get a belt in Jai Otapa, and he gonna call himself undisputed. That's why I say, man, it's hard to really root for these guys, because even the fight that people want to see at cruiserweight, and people ain't wanted to see a fight at cruiserweight since Usyk fought Mirish British. Ain't nobody want to see no cruiserweight fight since then, and they still gonna hold it up. Benavidez is still looking for validation, rightfully so. And he can get validation by whooping Beaver, whooping Better BF, turning around, whooping Jai Otapa. I mean, people would have been looking at him a lot differently. Even commercially, people would have had to, see what he really was, really would have to check in on him. And like I said before, there's no room for him to, pass judgment, call nobody a duck, say what this person and that person should do. And nobody trying to hear that, bro. You at cruiserweight collecting easy belts. We don't want to hear it, bro. Hate to break it to him. We don't want to hear it. This is disgusting, man. This is nasty work. Everybody want to claim that they being ducked. Everybody want grace, but when it's time to do the hard shit and uphold the integrity of the sport of boxing, don't nobody want to get in that blender and fight nobody, bro. They always is a guy that people want to see fight. So boxing fans don't know shit. Oh, if you never box, you don't know this, you don't know that. That's cool, but we know we want to see that fucking fight. We know we want to see that fight. So I don't really understand what's so bad about giving us the fight that we want to see. We know people are going to tap in to see that fight, and ultimately, Benavidez don't want to deliver. Benavidez don't want to deliver. So he can't turn around and say, well, Canelo Alvarez is ducking me and Canelo. Nah. No, that can't be the case, homeboy. So, poor David Benavidez or poor Jai Otapa. Even when there's nothing that nobody want to see at the cruiserweight division, Benavidez still don't want to make that fight happen. So, let's go over to this. I don't understand why it does that. So let's go over here. Shout out to Naj.
What about Shakur Stevenson? When will he actually be ordered to fight his mandatory at 147 pounds? He fought in January. Under the rulings, when do you guys, say, all right, Shakur, you're now up for your mandatory?
Excuse me, 9 months after winning the title. So basically, he fought in January. You got February, Marzo, Abril, Mayo, Junio, Julio, Agosto, Septiembre. By November. By November. So that means that now in September, I have to send Shakur a letter, like I did with Haney. Hey, champ, you got your mandatories coming up. You got to discharge the mandatory.
So it is possible that we could, and again, this is possible. That isn't everyone has the ruling, but it is possible come October, November, we could see Raymond Morataya is the mandatory for Shakur's WBO belt. That is possible.
Theoretically, we will have to see. Like I can't answer that question at this time. It will be irresponsible on my behalf.
I try to.
All right, so he said it'd be responsible on his behalf because that money bag ain't dropped in there for him. But my number one question is about them talking about Shakur's mandatory. Why is Shakur being stripped for signing with Zuffa? Why ain't Shakur being stripped for signing with Zuffa? Have y'all asked yourself that question? Why ain't Shakur Stevenson being told he got to give up his belt when he signed his Zuffa? Right? That's that's the $1 million question that I actually have. Why doesn't Shakur Stevenson, have to give up his belt now that he's signing his Zuffa? All of a sudden, we're gonna be patient about his mandatory. We're gonna be patient. All of a sudden, y'all express rushed or expedited Devin Haney's mandatory. Did y'all notice that? They expedited Devin Haney's mandatory very, very fast, very quickly. All of a sudden, Keyshawn, and I'm gonna get there. Keyshawn wanted to be the mandatory, and Keyshawn became the mandatory, even though Keyshawn lost his belt in a very, 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 very distasteful way. He didn't defend their title. Then he gets to be the number one contender for Shakur Stevenson. Has a good win over Jermaine Ortiz. Has a so-so performance over Nair Albright. But then you turn around and tell me, he deserves a title. Shot versus Devin Haney that he did not deserve. Everybody in the world to say he didn't deserve that title. Everybody in the world to say, well, he really didn't deserve that title. But when is Shakur? John Topper went over to Zuffa, got stripped of his IBF belt. When is Shakur gonna get stripped of his belt? All of a sudden, he gets a mandatory defense over Zuffa. I told y'all it's a silly game, bro. It's a silly foo ass game. They making up rules as they go. It's cash for exchange. How can Jay Prince have so much pull? Top Rank has so much pull, and get that man a title shot? How? When he's done, he's not even, he said F the belts. I don't want the belts. I don't care about the belts. I don't want to pay sanction fees. I don't want to do this. But then he becomes the mandatory. Then I heard audio where he said he didn't want to become the mandatory. He didn't want to fight for the belt. And he's been on record of saying that. This is just you need to start looking at the sanction belt bodies a lot differently. You need to start looking at these sanction belt bodies a lot different. They crooks. They don't uphold the integrity of boxing. That's why the fighters don't. Don't nobody uphold the integrity. These commissions don't care nothing about drug testing, hand wraps. The promoters don't care nothing about the fighters' health or safety or the integrity of boxing. And therefore, the managers don't care, and it trickle down to the fighters. If nobody else care, why should the fighters care? If don't nobody else care, why should the fighters care? This dude is crooked, bro. Oh, we get to wait to know. No. Shakur Stevenson should have a mandatory now. Shakur Stevenson should lose his belt now because he signed the Zuffa. Hold on. My bad. 1 second. 1 second.
Believe. But I'm telling the fans right now, don't believe them niggas, because them niggas start false narratives. That's all I'm saying. They start false narratives. They try to make shit. See, I know what's going to happen tomorrow on this purse bid. I know. I already had conversations with his bosses and shit. I already fucking know. I know the numbers. Nigga, I know. I'm part.
Yeah, my bad. But yeah, he should be stripped of his title. He went over there. Now, let me say this. Had Devin Haney signed over to Zuffa, had he signed over to Zuffa, we already know what the business had been. He would have been stripped. So Devin Haney, in order to fight Shakur Stevenson, had to give up his title. He had to give up his title, or he would have been stripped of it. But Shakur don't. And then you hear Shakur saying that he trying to go down and wait to fight Raimondo Moratella at 35, that he want to fight Moratella at 35 because he wants to fight Moratella, and get the ring 135-pound title But Muratayev said he having trouble making 135, so he wants another competitive advantage over Raymond over another fighter. And then he calling the nigga shows and changing in his voice. Bro's a real bitch, dog. I keep telling y'all. And this guy, or Oliver Mustafa, he's a joke. He's a joke. He's a real joke. He's a real fucking joke. Because if the plan is, hey, we against Zuffa, strip this motherfucker that WBO title then. He just y'all gave him an opportunity to fight T.O. He should have an instant mandatory, right? Devin Haney just fought Norman and had an instant mandatory out of nowhere. Out of all the fighters that have been sitting in that ranking system at 47, you didn't feel the need to order a title fight until Jay Prince asked for it or cash apped you allegedly for the title fight. Make it make sense, bro. And Devin Haney is representing your titles with integrity. He didn't lose his belt on the scale like Keyshawn, like Shakur Stevenson. And this is who y'all choosing to back. And I heard, I don't know if in this clip he said it, but I heard him say in another clip, this same guy in the same interview, shout out to Najee again, that he turned around and said that, yeah, the WBO has a good relationship with Top Rank, but we've told them no before. Just probably wasn't enough money being exchanged, in my opinion. Probably wasn't enough money being exchanged. We already know that relationship with Top Rank, Jay Prince, and the WBO, bro, it's a conflict of interest. Because ain't no way you can say, well, based on what did Keyshawn actually do to even not a title defense, neither to deserve a Devin Haney fight. So you can ask, well, what merit did Keyshawn get to have this title fight? And why was Keyshawn even number one at 140? He hadn't fought nobody at 140. He just lost his belt to the scale. And then in the new ranking system, Keyshawn is now number 7. Keyshawn ducked the purse bid for the WBO, and he's still inside the top 15, the top 10. If you duck a purse bid like that, I told y'all, man, they crooked, bro. They crooked, man. And Devin Haney is representing your title with integrity. And they still got a knife in your back, bro. They was part of you dropping that belt. But I'm gonna get there. We kind of jumping ahead a little bit. I'm gonna spit on that. We jumping ahead a little bit.
So Shakur, he said that he is down to fight Muratayev next, but then he would do it at either 135 or 140, but he prefers 135. And of course, if he fights him at 135, that would be for the Ring Magazine vacancy. I spoke to Muratayev's trainer, Robert Garcia, and he said the issue is that Muratayev has the IBF title, and the 10-day rehydration clause, the 10-pound rehydration clause is very difficult for Muratayev. He's outgrowing the weight class. He had to make 145 on Saturday morning. So Robert Garcia said, if they do unification, that's obviously easier. There is no rehydration clause on the unification. So that would be Zepeda they're interested in. They're interested in Mason, he said. But if not, Shakur Stevenson or 140 pounds. Yeah, so Shakur, he said that he is down to fight Muratayev.
So if he fights Shakur Stevenson, if y'all know what he's saying, if he fights Shakur Stevenson, he got to make the 10-pound rehydration IBF clause, which is stupid. The whole thing is stupid. I made the weight come fight night. I made the weight. I don't really understand what else are we having a conversation about. I legitimately made the weight, right? But he said he don't need to do a unification by which the rehydration clause is waived. But Shakur is saying, no, I want to fight him at 135, which Shakur doesn't have a belt at 135. Therefore, he would have to do the 10-pound rehydration clause. So he wants a competitive advantage versus Raimondo Mortella. And Mortella is saying, I'm down to fight the other champions, Abdullah Mason, William Zepeda, because then it wouldn't be no 10-pound rehydration clause. So Shakur is saying that he, only would he only would be willing to fight him if it was at 35. And Muratayev is saying, I'm willing to go up to 140 pounds to fight you. And Shakur like, no, I want to go to 35 because if I go to 35, then you got a rehydration clause, and then I get another opportunity to fight a ring belt. And I've talked about it. If y'all seen that video I did at Shakur Stevenson, all the guys saying Shakur Stevenson ducked him or they sent the offer, or they tried to fight him and he didn't respond back. I did that video about 2 weeks ago. And Raimondo Mortella, coach, said we were talking to Shakur Stevenson, and to make a long story short, he said Shakur Stevenson was on bull jive. He said Shakur Stevenson wasn't serious about fighting them. I didn't say it. He said it. He said it was a waste of time. He said that, not I. So Shakur has just been known as a bullshitter, from Gary Russell, Gary Anton Russell, to Devin Haney, to Raymond Mortayev, to Oshaki Foster. I mean, we can go on and on and on again, dude. This dude ain't serious about fighting nobody. And the WBO obviously has a close relationship with Jay Prince. They also have a close relationship with Top Rank. And that's why they get the benefit of a doubt. And that's why you get to hold that title as being over there with Zuffa. And all of a sudden, oh, we're threatening a mandatory. We're going to wait till November. No, with Devin Haney, a guy that wasn't even worthy of a mandatory title fight, a mandatory fight, he got the fight right away. He got the mandatory order within like a couple weeks or a few weeks of that. So Shakur get to wait all of August, all of September, all of October. He get about 3 or 4 months based on what? It was the same situation. Okay, T.O. had the Ring Magazine 147-pound, 140-pound title, right? That's cool. Brian Norman was a guy that defended his title too. And Devin beat him. And he, like I said before, man, if you don't see the play here, dog, if you don't really see the play here, man, it is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. It really is. He get 90 days. He get about 3 months and some change, or around 3 months, to be able to have a mandatory. But Keyshawn get to jump the line. And what has Keyshawn done to jump? Even Keyshawn don't believe Keyshawn is ready for this fight. Think about that for a minute. And now Shakur Stevenson, everybody he fight is some stipulation. What Oshaki fought? Oh, he need to go prove himself. He need to do this, and he need to prove himself. He need to do that. And it's like, what? I don't want him. I want to get credit when I beat him. If he come up to 40 or 35, he really ain't done nothing yet. And it's just like, bro, what are we talking about? It's always something, bro. And whether it's Ryo, which some people would like to see the Ryo fight. Well, Ryo ain't did this and Ryo ain't did that. And Ryo, it's just like, all right, bro. He don't want to fight nobody. That's a challenge. He don't want to get in the blender with nobody. And it's sad. And in reality, it's really, really sad that he's such a loser the way he is. He has a loser mentality. He said, you think of when Floyd Mayweather, I was forced yesterday about the boxers ain't that tough. Floyd and who? I don't know who you said, bro. Appreciate you. Shakur would drop that belt. He probably would. They should. He said, I was wondering that the whole time, because he said Zuffa can't bid on the WBO fights, so why Kerr get to keep the belt? Jason Anderson 9886. I told y'all, man, this shit ain't nothing but a scheme. This ain't no cover 3. This ain't no this a motherfucker all out blitz, engaged blitz scheme. This is an engaged blitz screen. This is a joke, bro. This is a joke, man. From that David Bennett beat ass bullshit to this whole thing. Shakun want to fight Mortai 35 because he know he done making 35. Shakun is trash, and he is. Stipulation Shakur. CJ Sewell, he wanted Devin versus Catterall. I don't care about seeing. No offense, I've interviewed Jack Catterall. Nice guy. I don't really care to see it. It's not a fight that I'm putting on my thing. But either Pernell and Floyd, I don't know, bro. Probably Pernell would. I don't know. Depending on what weight. Welterweight Pernell. Lightweight Pernell, welterweight Floyd. Let's keep him moving, right? So, he continued on in his little shindig, in his little interview, the little clip I seen. So give me a minute. Here we go.
Keyshawn Davis was removed from the mandatory slot. Now, can you explain to us what exactly happened? Was it Keyshawn Davis's team reached out to you to say, hey, Gustavo, we no longer want to be in the mandatory position?
I received an email correspondence by Mr. Josh Dubin, Keyshawn's attorney, confirming to the WBO. This email serves as a notice to the WBO that Keyshawn Davis will not go forward with the terms of the bid, based on not agreeing with the financial compensation to be distributed to him, which is the 25% of the total bid, which was like 2,400,000 something, if I recall correctly. So he was not Keyshawn, and that's it. That's his personal decision. I may not agree with it, but I have to respect it. That's his decision as a fighter. He consults with his team, and I have to respect that. So he declined to go forward with the fight in accordance with the terms of the bid, because according to him, his split is not what he considered reflective of his market value. And based on that email confirmation, we proceeded on making the announcement. And thereafter, that goes to the championship committee and the ratings committee, and he was demoted in the ratings.
So you end up as a sanctioning bell body, you end up ranking the guy who doesn't even think he's ready for a fight, because obviously he's not looking at it as an opportunity, and we'll get there. He doesn't even think he's ready for this fight. Okay. You rank a guy who wasn't ready, who didn't deserve a fight, never had a title fight, barely had a title, had the title versus one of the weakest champions in boxing, and Dennis Brashnik. Okay, respectfully. You rank this guy, okay? You rank him, and he don't even think he's ready for the fight. You know, he was like, well, he doesn't believe he did this, and we demoted him in the rank. He shouldn't even be in the rankings. Once you make a move like that, should no sanctioning bell body rank Keyshawn Davis, including the one that he did that with. Should nobody rank Keyshawn Davis, bro? And Keyshawn Davis has just failed to number 7. He's been demoted. He shouldn't even be on the same. That just lets you know, bro, this is why people continue to do drugs or do peds in the sport. This is why they continue to violate. This is why they continue to violate the rules in the sport, because there's no real deterrent for violating the rules. There's no real deterrent for violating the rules. What's the deterrent? What's the deterrent for violating the rules? Ask yourself that. What's the deterrent for violating the rules? He ducked out of a title shot. He's still number 7. Why? He shouldn't be ranked for a year in a sanctioned bell body at minimum. Come on. He shouldn't be ranked. We shouldn't even say nothing about Keyshawn Davis. You hear what Top Rank don't owe him a belt in 2027? Y'all better not sanction the Keyshawn Davis fight. Y'all better not sanction the Keyshawn Davis fight. Well, he got demoted, and he said he turned down a purse bid. $2.1 million. The most he made was $900,000 his last fight. He didn't even get the 1.3 that he would have got versus Edwin De Los Santos. Don't even know what he got versus Jermaine Ortiz. A guy who lost your belt on the scale. The guy who destroyed the integrity of the belt after he lost the belt on the scale, failed to make weight. He was 2 pounds off making weight for De Los Santos. Top Rank hired a weight cut specialist to help him make the weight. He decided to blow it off. And this is the guy that you want representing your belt. This is a guy that then tried to jump a fighter in the locker room with your belt being on the line. This is somebody who want to rank, you want you representing your belt. Then they asked him after the fight, his last fight versus Nair Albright, do you want to fight for the WBO? For the IBF title? He rolled his eye. This is the guy before that when they asked him when he had the belt, what about unifying with Raymundo Mortala? I don't want to do sanctioning fees. I don't want to pay sanctioning fees. Fuck the belts. That's pretty much what he said. I'm paraphrasing. That's what he say. But then you gift him a number 1 contender spot for the WBO title for Shakur Stevenson, knowing that the Teofimo Lopez fight should have been for Keyshawn Davis. Shakur Stevenson stole that fight. Why didn't you mandate Keyshawn to fight Shakur Stevenson when you made Shakur number 1 at the WBO? You didn't. All of a sudden, he get to jump to the WBO after impressive win versus Ortiz, and then after a so-so win versus Nair Albright. Then he get to go up to 140 for a title shot that he didn't think he deserved after blowing your belt off, after disrespecting your organization, jumping on Nair Albright, even after all of that, saying fuck the belts, I don't want to pay sanctioning fees. Then for you to get him here, give him an opportunity you don't deserve based on the relationship, not based on no other merit but cash exchange, in my opinion, or allegedly, right? He goes up there and then he makes you look fucking foolish again. You keep gifting them spots. You keep gifting them this, that, and the third. Then you make them look foolish. Drop out the sanction bell body. Email you. His lawyer email you. Tell you, no, I'm worth more than that. Then you don't just say, you know what, we ain't ranking you at all. No, what you do, you rank them at number 7. You still haven't punished them. You still haven't punished them. What's the punishment? Same thing with Jesus Christ, bro. 1 second, y'all.
I'm gonna whoop your ass, so-called Debo. You know what happened to Debo at the end of the movie? He got hit with a brick. Debo might get hit with a brick. Talk some Latins. No, don't pick on them. Pick on me. Keep picking on Craig, and you're gonna figure out what's gonna happen. You're gonna get hit with a brick. And I ain't playing. You know I ain't playing. Hit with a brick.
Ain't underrated all time. Probably Lomachenko. I think Lomachenko is underrated because I feel like he fought outside of his weight class. Like he fought at 135 when he's really like a 126 pounder. But when people discredit him because he lost the big fights against a lot of bigger fighters, so he didn't really get a chance to fight at his weight class. He should be fighting against guys like Anyway and not Teofimo and Devin and shit. So he's underrated to me.
Why didn't it take 72 hours for the test to come back, right?
Came back after the fight, yeah.
Right. So why didn't come out that Tuesday or that week next? They waited till Canelo fight to push that he had something in his drug. Then once they pushed that, Devin and them was on ESPN that night promoting that he was it's all in. I'm telling you.
What about your thoughts on Victor Conte being let up out of what Ryan said?
That you drained up the version that fought Devin would beat you easily. He also said,
bro, go look at Ryan fight and go look at Ryan versus Devin and go look at my fight versus versus Ryan. And you can tell that Ryan didn't look no different. If he looked any different, he probably looked worse. He just was a bigger person, much slower. If he was on anything, why he didn't have stripping all his, like every punch, the brick hand, the jab, everything would have been strong. He only hit him with the same punch. I told everybody, a hook, which is Devin was sitting right there to get caught with the hook. And they talk about this, my bad, talk about these guys, whatever, pound for pound or
Bill and Eddie.
You know, they're just gonna keep saying things to try to, change the narrative and make it seem like, I started everything or, whatever they want to tell the world. But they people, man, they like to, come off a certain way, and try to trick the fans and, just trying to make it seem like, they these certain type of people. But I know what kind of people they is, you know what I'm saying? And, I ain't gonna go into details, but at the end of the day, man, I'm trying to.
My bad, y'all. So, but yeah, back to what I was saying. There's no punishment. It's like a spoiled kid. There's no real punishment. There's no punishment here. He can do whatever the fuck he want to do. He keep getting penalized. He keep violating. And this is what I was about to say. Then it's like that dude, Genovic, right? So Genovic was still able to hold his 160-pound title. I forget which one it was. I think it was the IBF title. He was still able to be the IBF champion even after popping hot for steroids. And then if you go up to 168 pounds, I just read today that he's ranked pretty high in the 168 pound rank. He's ranked number 2 in the WBO for the 160 pound title. And he literally just got popped hot for steroids. He literally fucked the division's money up. Bud was going to fight him for the title. And they was all ready to fight each other. He was about to fight Lara, and Kadamas was going to get in the mix. They was going to, end up gunning for, for his undisputed title. That's what he said. He wanted to gun for the title, for the undisputed, and then he messed that up for the division. And what did he got? He kept one of the belts. I can't remember. I think the IBF stripped. He kept the WBO. Then he goes all the way up to 168, and he's gifted with a number 2 ranking in the WBO. He just popped top. Why not cheat? Why not say fuck the belts when all they take is financially some money to make them forget. All they doing is moving off money, no matter the disrespect, no matter the piss, the violation. If you got some money, you can get in. You can get in. It don't matter what you do. The WBO, he was able to keep the WBO, and they gifted him the number 2 title. Keyshawn said, fuck this, one of the nastiest ducks in history, and they didn't even drop him out the sanctioning belt body. He's still number 7. He's still inside the top 10. This is I'm telling y'all, man. I'm telling y'all. The sanctioning belt bodies are the main problem in boxing. They are the main problem in boxing, bro. Because these networks, it's not their job to care and to regulate. The commission, they a problem. The sanctioning belt bodies a problem. They don't care nothing about the integrity and the structure of the sport of boxing. They don't care. They do not care. They do not care, bro.
And Devin Haney and the purse bid, right? Keyshawn ultimately withdrew his petition from the purse bid, and it left a lot of fans confused. Even myself, who, again, I've been a big Keyshawn fan. I was looking forward to the fight. It's obviously not happening. What happened, bro? Because we confused just as a community. Niggas is like, what is going on right now? Could you give me a little light? Give me something that I can understand what's happening?
Yeah. It's I think it's easy for people to figure out if you just read between the lines and you don't take the easy route and think, oh, he's scared or he ducked. Because we know Keyshawn's not scared of fighting anybody. We know that he's the type of guy that wants to fight Devin Haney. So then you gotta start asking yourself questions as to why wouldn't we went that route? And when you start asking those questions, they're easy to answer. If you just move past the part of, oh, he's scared, because he's not scared. All these guys are fighters, man. They've been fighting their entire life. They're not worried about getting on a big stage and risking their lives for the enjoyment of fans. They're not scared of that. Yeah. So I would never say Devin Haney is scared. I would never say, when he pulled out of the Rolly Romero person, I wouldn't say, oh, he's scared of Rolly or nah, the business wasn't right. And business is complex. Boxing business is complex.
So his thing is he pulled out of what? What did he pull out with Rolly? What purse bid was ordered for him and Rolly? And like I said, they always gonna justify fuck shit. Rolly was ducking Devin for years and wanted Devin to fight for free. I've been saying this for years. Teofimo has got the DAZN behind him paying for the Rolly fight. That's the difference. When Devin and Rolly was negotiating, there was no DAZN. There was no DAZN in PBC. There was no Devin Haney in DAZN. Now, could that fight happen with that? Yeah. But you see how he said that? Well, yeah, I wouldn't say that. No. No fighter scared of no other fighter. That's bullshit. Keyshawn Davis is scared. Keyshawn Davis is the one that asked for this fight. Devin Haney wasn't getting a guarantee for Rolly Romero. Keyshawn was gonna get $3 million. Keyshawn only made $900,000 in his career. Keyshawn was only getting he was gonna get more than 3 times what he made. Now he was gonna get more than double than what he made versus Devin Haney. How's the business not right? Now, for $1.5 million, they say, hey, you want to get in there and fight Jack Catterall, or you want to get in there and fight Liam Paro? He would fight them for 1.3, 1.2. what it boiled down to is, and Stevie Kim said this on Coach Malachi show. Shout out to True Media podcast. This is what he said today. He said, I don't think these fighters got much faith and they can win. I've been saying it, bro. They look at these type of fights as a cash out. I need a whole life insurance policy. This is a cash out. If you believe you can win, the opportunity is enough. If I know I'm gonna win this fight, I'm gonna be the dude getting the Zone Network deal. They gave a deal to Teofimo Lopez. They gave a deal to Devin Haney. If I whoop Devin Haney, why wouldn't the Zone want to give me a network deal? The opportunity is the lick. The money is just icing on the cake. If I feel like I can seize this opportunity, beat Devin Haney, get this belt, the Zone and Zuffa gonna be fighting for me. I'm gonna be up there with 8-figure Shakur Stevenson. But when you don't believe you're going to win, every fight like this is a cash out. Every fight like this is a cash out. He's looking at this as a cash out, not a cash in. His mentality is already, I'm going to lose. I got 1 foot out the ring. All that. Oh, you picking on Mexicans. Come pick on the black fighter. Come pick on me, Debo. All that was a minstrel show. Keyshawn told you on the $1 million worth of game that I was clout chasing Devin Haney before I knew I was ready. You still not ready. So for him to come on here and Jay Prince's son, whoever, him to come on there and be like, well, the business, what business ain't right? You making 3 times more than what you ever made. Then you turn that down. Then you making over 2 times more than you ever made. On top of that, you getting an opportunity and a title that you don't deserve. What are we talking about? I don't really understand why these fighters were Keyshawn. Don't nobody know Keyshawn. Keyshawn got a kick account. Anybody follow Keyshawn streams or how many streamers Keyshawn got? None. Nobody know the fuck Keyshawn Davis is. So his coach going around here talking about, well, Brian Norman made this. Brian Norman made this. Brian Norman had a knockout of Jen Psaki that did more numbers than any Keyshawn fight. It did more numbers than any Keyshawn fight. Brian Norman was a champion who defended his title. Keyshawn ain't never defended his title. He was a title holder that defended his title. Keyshawn ain't never defended his title. Keyshawn ain't never defended a title. Keyshawn has had more mistakes, more blunders than big fights. To talk about the business ain't right, I don't understand that. What are we talking about? The business isn't right. The money's right. Oh, because Devin Haney getting this, Devin Haney earned that. You didn't even look good in your last fight versus Nair Albright. The stadium wasn't even half full field versus Nair Albright. Probably 50% of those people probably got free tickets. Your own city turned your back on you. So to say the business went right based on what? With 15 fights, no fan base, no notable fight. Where's your metrics at? Where's your viewerships at? How many views you do versus Jermaine Ortiz? How many views you do versus Nair Albright the first time? How many views you do the second time? Come on. What are we talking about? And for them to compare him to Brian Norman Jr. based on what? He ain't had no fight like Brian Norman when he won the WBO title. He ain't been in that type of squabble. You asked for this fight. You got an opportunity you don't deserve to make money that you haven't made yet that you don't deserve, obviously. I don't get that. What about the business isn't right? The purse split say this. This champion who wasn't with the network, who wasn't with your promoter at one point, got with the network, he made a negotiation. I don't get it. Think about it. The Zone didn't want to step in and get Keyshawn no extra money because he ain't worth it. Zuffa didn't want to work a deal putting Keyshawn and Shakur in the same deal. They didn't want to fuck with Keyshawn. Nobody want to fuck with Keyshawn, bro. So I don't even understand. Oh, the money wasn't right. And well, Devin did. What you worry about what Devin do? Devin turned around and took a situation with Rolly, which was no guaranteed money, and he parlayed that bitch to a $10 million fight deal. Y'all always worry about what Devin gonna do, man. Keyshawn ain't shit. Shakur ain't shit. Shakur ain't deserve that 8-figure deal he got with Zuffa. Ain't nothing exciting about Shakur Stevenson at all. Ain't nothing exciting about it. Based on what merit do Shakur Stevenson deserve any money? They should be paying motherfuckers to watch Shakur Stevenson. One of the worst fighters I ever watched film on. Fuck what Big Bud Crawford talking about. That's a whole bunch of proper Bud Gander. It's a bunch of proper Bud Gander. It's not real. Maybe with headgear on and 16-ounce gloves, he a tough out for a motherfucker in the gym. When you watch the tape on, very scary. If they was as good as they say, these two niggas that came up under this dude wing. These two dudes that came up under his wing. Want some fries with that? And look how they act and look how they doing, how they holding themselves. Went out there, jumped on the nigga in the locker room, and then fired the coach. And then blamed the coach. Took money out the coach pocket. Took money out of Crawford team pocket. Put Crawford in danger. They had to go up. Sorry, that's the dog. But they had to apologize to the man. Okay? You talking about the business, bro? He shouldn't even be eligible to fight. He should have got a year suspension based on that shit that he did. But he's sitting on here smirking, talking about, well, Devin did this, and that's y'all problem. Y'all stay on Devin dick. Y'all try to get Devin to drop that belt, and your old ass fucking daddy, you know, who can't think no more, think he the same nigga he was in 1993. That shit dead. That shit dead, bro. Ran circles around y'all. Y'all just don't want to see Devin Haney make no money. He said, come on, man. Y'all know y'all some hating ass niggas. Jay Prince still, y'all daddy Jay Prince still ain't got y'all MCE bag. You can go come get some money with us. And the fact of the matter, people should have knew. I said this from the beginning. I said Keyshawn wasn't taking this fight. I was on record. I was like, Keyshawn ain't taking this fight, bro. I told y'all from the beginning, Keyshawn wasn't taking this fight, bro. I was the first person saying it. When Coach was saying, well, Keyshawn, I told Coach, I'm like, that nigga ain't fighting, bro. I told that nigga way when this shit was happening. I said the nigga wasn't fighting, bro. Ain't nobody want to believe me. I said that he ain't like that, bro. He told y'all he was clout chasing Devin Haney. I told niggas, I said, man, he not fighting, bro. And people did not believe it. I told y'all that nigga wasn't fighting, bro. They just jealous. This is like most of your haters, bro. They hate, backstab you, talk shit behind your back. But when it's time to get, when you confront them and front, oh man, no, he got confronted. He could have settled his discrepancies in the ring with Devin Haney. And guess what he did? The pussy nigga ain't do it. He ain't do it. He knew he was going to get knocked out. I told y'all he was going to get knocked out. He knew he was going to get knocked out. Don't tell me nothing about Shakur fighting. I don't want to hear shit about Hitchison fighting. I don't want to hear nothing about Keyshawn. I don't want to hear shit about them niggas fighting no more, man. I don't want to hear it. You send a little brother to come do the damage or the business run. What business run, right, nigga? What the deal he got between your daddy and him? Hey, if your daddy taking all his money, that's his problem. Don't put Keyshawn back in no ring. If you the zone, don't put that motherfucker back in your network. And if you top rank, you should drop him tonight. You should drop him tonight. You should relinquish him from his duties tonight. I don't want to hear nothing about Keyshawn Davis. Even if the bitch land on the moon, I don't want to hear it. Shout out to the MUC Tub University Music. Appreciate it. He said Shakur beats everybody. Was cap every time they said it. Yeah, every time they said it. If you say it long enough, people start believing anything. He ain't gonna beat, man, nigga, man, he won't fight nobody, bro. Like I said, if you go to any basketball court or you go to any one-on-one football camp or whatever, and somebody think they can whoop somebody, they not hesitating to line up. They not hesitating to do one-on-ones. They not hesitating to put the bread up in a one-on-one basketball game. They're not hesitating to play 7-on-7. If you think you him and you think you can beat him and your boy got $100, you got $100, y'all play 2K, y'all both think y'all gonna win, y'all gonna fight. I mean, y'all gonna play. Oh, Montage's been goofy for a long time, bro. Motherfuckers goofy in the street now and goofy in the motherfucking boxing world. Just goofy all the way around. Shaky Shakur been a fraud, bro. Telling you this nigga bigger than everybody. He fucking fight. Yeah, he's a fucking fraud. I've been saying it for years. People was disassociated with me. They got mad with me. And watch what I say about fucking Boots. He's starting to turn a corner, though. Boots stepping that shit up. I give him credit for that, though. He wants in Rainforest. Yeah, he been back in the gym. Yeah, he had a video. He was back in the gym. Yeah, Ray Ford was back in the gym. I ain't gonna cap. Ray Ford was back in the gym. I just seen it like this past week. So he been back in the gym. So shout out to Ray Ford. At least he had enough heart to take his ass whooping like a motherfucking man. You know, at least he had enough heart to take his ass whooping like a man. But I just got this shit, man. Hold on, man. I'm about to get off here. So I haven't even fully read. This just came up on my line. He said, bro got some news on Devin. Devin told the zone that he wants top fights at 47 or 54. He told the zone to choose Boots, Thurman, Lil Charlo at 54. Devin told the zone that he wants the top fights at 47. Like I said, he said Thurman, Boots, Charlo, Lil Charlo. So you know, I know a lot of y'all don't know this though, but Devin been trying to fight Boots behind the scenes, and Boots and them been ducking that fade. He been trying to fight Boots and them behind the scenes for quite some time, and Boots and them don't return the call, even at 154 pounds. I'm like, man, y'all. I mean, I'm just like, hey, all right, nigga. I mean, that's what y'all want to do. I think Boots will put hands, foots, and shoestrings on them niggas, but you know they saying that that's what they want to do. They've been trying to fight Boots, and Boots and them don't want to negotiate. Boots and them been ducking behind the scenes. That's what I'm being told. That's what I'm being told. So, you know, a lot of niggas don't say I'm lying. Ask the nigga about it. But we know for a fact that when Boots was at 147 pounds, Devin called him out and he smoke escaped. T.O. called him out and he smoke escaped. He left that division. And people can say, oh, you hating on Boots. I'm just telling you what happened. I'm telling you what happened. So apparently, Devin now applying more pressure on Boots, and Boots and give you more reason why Boots gonna run to that mandatory and not fight Virgil Ortiz or not get in the blender with Devin Haney. Devin been asking for that fight. That's what just told to me is like last week and the week before last. He been trying to fight him now. He might give Lil Charlo a chance. Those are all dangerous fights for him. Those are all dangerous fights for him. So I ain't see Pacquiao being mentioned. So I don't know. That was just a rumor that, you know, World Boxing News started. That was just strictly a rumor that they started. You know? So as of right now, Devin is trying to get in that blender. Devin is trying to get in that blender with them. So, I mean, there you have it. So if that's what he want to do, that's what he want to do. So whether it's Thurman, who still ain't healed, whether it's Charlo, you know, he said it's Cap. What's Cap about it? He literally called Boots out. It's literally video of Devin Haney calling out Boots. What are we talking about? We know T.O. called out Boots and they knocked on Boots' door. And what did Boots do? Boots ran 147 pounds. I mean, that ain't no inside information. That fucking happened. So MCU, Tub, University, Music, J Princess, Crafty, 2 double barrel shot barrels, but one easy, a throwaway. He wanted a piece of that Haney DAZN bag with 2 fighters. Keyshawn ruined that. Yep. He said, CJ, if you a beast or a dog, you don't have to say it. Everybody else will say it straight up. Yeah, I mean, everybody else saying Shakur beast and dog. We don't see it though. So you gotta actually do it. You gotta actually do it. So yeah, Dev, you know, Dev is Charlo, Boots, Thurman. You know, Thurman need another payday. I wouldn't fight Jamil. I mean, what's the point of fighting Jamil? You know, if he fight Jamil, shout out to him. I mean, if he fight Boots, shout out to him. But I mean, them high risk, no reward fights other than Boots. Boots is high risk, high reward. Charlo is high risk, low reward. Thurman is high risk, low reward. You know, so if that's what he want to do, I mean, shit, at that point, you might as well fight Pacquiao. But Thurman has been talking shit, and Thurman still ain't healed from that Sebastian Fondor ass. So I don't know. I mean, at that point, you might as well just go fuck around and fight Tim Tszyu at that point. Shit. You might as well go fight Tim Tszyu. Shit, you might as well try to drop, jump Jerron Boots Ennis and fight Josh Kelly then. Shit, fuck it. Why you at it? Go fight Sebastian Fondor then, nigga. You know, and now he got to reach for fights. That's all this shit is. Now you're reaching for fights. And if I'm him, maybe I'll just take the next best, contender up there. But it is what it is, man. He said Jamel's a bigger fight than Boots. Hey, if you believe so. Paro wants to fight in October. He should fight Paro, but that's what Eddie Hearn. Legacy fight, Boots want belts. Yeah, Boots do want belts, but belts don't always equal legacy, nigga. Who you gonna get? What you get for beating Josh Kelly after that performance? Come on. When Mazaliev had that very same IBF belt, he ain't want it. Turkey said he asked for two tune-ups. He ain't want it. Y'all niggas conveniently forget that. Y'all celebrated when Mazaliev lost. He said, you be having some good news. Did you hear anything on Keyshawn money? This is what you hear everybody else saying. $3 million. I heard it from the horse's mouth. I heard it, same way Coach Malachi heard it. Oh, he would no limit. No limit. Maybe they invite Devin Haney to come back to Australia. That might make sense. But but yeah, I heard the same way. He got offered $3 million. He said no, he didn't want to fight from the beginning, bro. Even if they gave him $5 million, he still wasn't gonna fight. I told y'all that. Keyshawn, the minute you kept hearing them talking about Keyshawn was never fighting. Bill told me that he called the nigga to see what more did he want outside the $3 million so they can work. He didn't even want to negotiate the $3 million, bro. He didn't even want to negotiate for more money right then and there. That should have told you he didn't want to fight. I heard it from Bill. Told me out of his own mouth. He said he was trying to see what more money did he want. He wouldn't tell Bill nothing. He didn't want to fight, bro. But that's all I had to say, man. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, peace.
If I was talking, if your dad was out here talking like I'm talking, I'd tell my son to fuck you up too.